So I'm gonna try to remember to make a few videos about stretching a Dyna frame. So all I have is the chop source jig, nothing special at all. You don't need nothing special just to do fucking chops. The part that I thought was gonna be weird was because all these fucking weird bullshit Dyna puts on their fucking frames, these little tabs everywhere. I wasn't sure it was gonna square up in the jig right, so I just used the same piece that I used before for any other rigid frame, you know, minus you don't have the swing arm attached in. Got the neck put in, got the legs sitting flush on this piece, so you got to keep these a little loose, rattle the back a little bit because you're not locking into the axle plates, rattle the back a little bit to get the legs to settle down to where they're flat against the fucking angle iron. And then you just do the regular shit. You know, I use a string, some people use a laser, and you just line your shit up, get your shit straight. I measured in between these two. It's kind of unnecessary because these could be tweaked from the factory. But, and then once you got that all squared up and lined in, lock these down. I didn't lock the neck down yet. Or actually I did once I had it flush and everything was sitting in there. And then I just took some tabs because I don't have clamps. Clamps aren't really necessary. Great if you have one. It's generally people who have better jigs that have that. But I just took some little tabs, did some shit ass little fucking MIG weld to hold it on there real quick, and just tabbed each side, welded it directly down to this part the frame sits on. So now it can't go left or right and move it all in there, because remember, you don't have the back locked down with a Dyna because you don't have the swing arm in. So once those are locked down though, those aren't going anywhere. And then I just took some flat stock, you know, it's probably some 1/4 inch, drilled some holes for both motor mounts, bent this one up a little bit, just took some fucking like inch square stock, connected those two together so that it won't have, when I cut the legs and the neck out, it won't shift at all, which it shouldn't shift with these tabs anyway. So I mean, these really, you should be fine with these, those shouldn't shift. But this kind of served a second purpose. Someone gave me the idea of this because they used it so it didn't shift, but it kind of served a second purpose for me. So now that I have that all welded in and locked in to where the motor mounts are all solid and they won't twist or shift at all, I'm gonna make another piece that comes up and goes up to the motor mount side on the top. So I'm just gonna take a piece that comes up, you know, angles over and connects in just like the motor would. So then when I cut this out, I'll have this piece that's still here connected to this bottom piece. So when I do my stretch up, I still know exactly where I need to come down and connect to my fucking top motor mount. So that kind of, instead of guessing it, measuring it, you know, putting the motor back in, praying, all that shit, if I make a piece that comes directly up, splits off, connects in here like it would to the motor, then when I do my up stretch, all I got to do is connect the piece down to there and I'm good to go. So these are just a few little tips on stretching a Dyna frame. I've never stretched a Dyna frame, but I've done a few other rigid frames. These are a little bit different, but not a whole lot. So I mean, it's plenty doable with a very simple chop source fucking jig or whatever jig you got. These are just a few little tips because it's shit I was trying to figure out because I never did one. Like, how are these gonna sit flush and all that shit.